Welcome to the Mixed Reception Podcast. I'm your host, Barrett Sigmund, and today, very special guest, we got Mr. Brett Mounce. What is up?
Hey, not much. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You might know Brett from the Dumpster Dudes, a very funny sketch and improv group.
Well, thank you.
I wanted to go to your show a couple weeks ago, but I'm 31 going on 61, and it was way past my bedtime.
Yeah. It was a very late show.
And I had to go to Maryland the next day, but I heard it was good. But you guys are hilarious. And also, you have your own YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Bouncin?
Mouncin, where I play board games. Usually kind of like lighter, more, I don't want to say family friendly, but they're quicker board games. And a lot of ones that have to do with lying to each other.
So no Monopoly.
We haven't tackled Monopoly, though. I'm not against it.
Don't do it. It's too much.
Yeah, especially if you play by the real rules, because almost everyone plays by their own house rules without realizing it. The real rules, you'll be playing the game for like 8 hours.
Monopoly can like ruin relationships. I remember my grandmother, my poor grandmother bought me Monopoly one year, and we were playing Monopoly, all of us, my whole family, and then I ended up getting mad at her and walked out.
Yeah, I think I always made people mad because I would have a plan in my head, and then people would always want to trade because trading is like a thing you can do, and I would always be like, no, I don't want to trade, and they're like, well, this is like a better deal for you. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I have something in my head. I'm not trading with you.
Yeah, you're like, I know what I want.
People would always get mad, and yeah.
Well, speaking of deals, I guess kind of nice segue. Ocean's 11, that deals with money, right? Well, specifically, We're talking about Ocean's 12 today because I asked you for some suggestions, and you mentioned Ocean's 12 as one of them, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a good one," because that is a very, very polarizing sequel.
Yeah, which is weird to me. I guess I'm spilling my beans early. I just assumed everyone loved this movie because when I saw it, I forget, I don't know the years, but I must have been in high school, early high school, or maybe middle school.
This came out in 04. The first one came out in 01.
Okay, 04, yeah. So I would have been in middle school at that time.
Yeah, me too. I think maybe just starting high school.
Yeah. And so I just like loved the movie, and I rewatched a lot, always loved it, and it wasn't until like later in life I found out people hated the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like the black sheep of the Ocean's like franchise.
Yeah. But I guess we could talk about Ocean's 11 real quick before.
Well, let's talk about all of them. Like I said, we were kind of talking offline before this, but my plan was to watch the first three, at least the first three, before we did this, but I fell asleep last night. Watching the Ocean's 13. I got like 15 minutes in, not because it was a bad movie, but I was just tired. What do you think about this series?
Well, I think Ocean's 11, I honestly think it might be like a 10 out of 10.
I agree.
It's a great film. I can't find the only main problem you can find with it is that maybe there should have been a woman on the crew just to get diverse. But this is like early 2000s. They're not really thinking about diversity, right. But that's like the only complaint I can think of. People make fun of Don Cheadle's accent, but I'm like, I don't care. It didn't bother me, I guess.
So I thought Don Cheadle was British for like years after this movie. And then I find out, I think I saw like Iron Man 2 and he's not. And people were saying he wasn't really British. And I was like, what? No, he's not. Yeah. You're full of shit.
Yeah, people make fun of his accent. I'm like, he does a way better accent than me. So I guess
I don't think it's that bad. It fooled me when I thought.
And I guess we also should point out that the Ocean's crew are one of the few Warner Brothers people that don't show up in Space Jam.
Oh my God. Oh, I kind of want to shit. This could turn into a Space Jam tirade. But yeah,
they don't show up.
That's a good point. You know, Tony Soprano is in there somewhere.
What?
Yes, I read this. Tony Soprano is in like the crowd of that.
The only thing I can think of is that all the people in the crowd of Space Jam, they have like costumes. They're like, you can see them. You go, oh, that's Pennywise. That's the mask. Oceans, they're just people in suits. So it's like there's no way you could dress up as someone from the Ocean's crew, I guess.
What if you were like a huge Ocean's 11 fan and you left Space Jam 2 just really upset that they weren't represented?
That's what you went in there for?
Yes. Where's Rusty? Where's Linus?
Where's Topher Grace as himself?
Is he in the third one? Please tell me he shows up in the third one.
He did not show up in the third one.
Does he show up in the 8th one? Or Ocean's 8?
No.
Damn it.
I'll spill my beans a little bit again. So I think Ocean's 11 is 10 out of 10. I like 12 a lot. 13 might be a 2 out of 10 for me.
Holy, really?
I cannot stand that movie. I do not like it at all.
So what's so bad about it?
So I think from my opinion, is they heard all of that criticism from Ocean's 12, because Ocean's 12 was so different from 11. I mean, it wasn't in Vegas and they changed a lot. And I think people were like, I don't like all these twists and turns and all this stuff. So Ocean's 13, there's barely no twists at all. Just like, hey, here's what we're going to do. And they do it. And it's like, okay, kind of fun, I guess. But I mean, what's her name? Julia Roberts never shows up. Catherine Zeta-Jones never shows up.
But Al Pacino shows up.
Al Pacino does show up. He's the bad guy in it.
That's why I was excited to watch. That's why I was bummed I fell asleep, because I was excited to watch the third one. For some reason, that was the only one I hadn't seen. I remember it when I was working at the movie theater in high school. It was playing. I just never got around to seeing it. But I love Al Pacino, so I was excited to see that one.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just remember not liking it. I mean, I don't want to spoil it too much, but they're not really pulling a heist. They're not like, hey, we're gonna go steal this thing. They're like rigging his casino for the casino to lose and everyone to win. They're basically saying screw, like I don't know. So it's a whole bunch of like rigging casino games, which is like.
So I watched the first 15 minutes, like I said, and it's a revenge tale essentially, because
they kind of all are, aren't they?
Well, actually, that's true. Good point. But Al Pacino screws over that one guy,
Saul.
Yeah,
Saul
the Elliot Gold character.
Yeah. Who does show up in Ocean's 8? Spoiler alert.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, I agree. First one I love. I didn't finish the third one. Now, this Ocean's 8, did you like it?
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out, and I was like, oh, for this, I should watch it again. I think it's good. I think it's better than 13, but I don't think it's as great as the other two. I do love the number they picked, because they set themselves up for a second trilogy, so they could go 8, 9, 10, and then that would go into the other numbers. So I thought that was smart. But I don't know. They replicate the way the other Ocean movies are shot, because Oceans, they have a distinct look to them.
Right.
Like I feel like the camera movement's very 70s, a lot of like zooms, a lot of like, I don't know, transitions and stuff. So they stuck with that, but the heist kind of suffers from the same thing as Ocean's 13, where they're like, this is the plan, and then they do it.
So no shocking reveals or any twists?
There's like a big twist, not a big twist, but there's like a twist. Are you okay if I spoil the movie?
I don't care. I probably will never watch Ocean. Well, should I watch it?
I don't know, but I'm just so they're stealing a diamond necklace that's worth a lot of money, and they're like, oh, but we're not going to be able to sell it back for its full price because no one's going to buy that. And they're like, secretly, we stole a whole bunch of other stuff, and the whole crew didn't even know about it. Like Aquafina's like, what? I'm like, so there's this whole big heist, and then there's just another heist happening. That's like the reveal. It's like, oh, we were doing another heist on the side, and I'm like, man, just show that to us during the movie. I don't know.
I know, like the second one.
Yeah, I guess, but the second one did it in a fun way. I guess I shouldn't criticize, but
you're a big fan of this movie, Ocean's 12.
Yeah, I think watching it now, I'm back on. I think I used to always think 12 was the best one. Now I think Ocean's 11 is the best one, but this I do think is a close second.
Well, Steven Soderbergh, it's his favorite of the series. He loves this movie.
I mean, I like it for a sequel. They were like, hey, why don't we don't want to just do the same thing. We're not going to go to Vegas and steal more money. So I think it's cool because most sequels fall into that repetition of like, we're just doing the same thing again. So this one I thought was cool. I do think it had I guess at the beginning we were trying to figure out what's going on because they had to pay all the money back, and so they're like, let's rob this one thing, and that just seemed to be a small part. And so I wish they did get to the initial heist earlier, but that's probably my main complaint about it.
So I think this movie, when I first saw it, because I didn't see this when it came out in 2004. I remember the first one I rented from Blockbuster when I was like 11. I loved it. But Ocean's 12 for some reason just, I don't know, I just didn't bother. But I rewatched the first one probably within the last 5 years. And then, of course, I rewatched it the other day. But I had only seen Ocean's 12 for the first time, like within the last 5 years. So I didn't see it when it come out. But I didn't like it when I first saw it. Rewatching it, I still am I don't really know how I feel about this movie. I like the setup. I like that they have to pay back the money. I like that.
See, I kind of wish, I don't know, watching it this time, I was like, why are they so scared of this guy? I wish they gave us a reason to be scared of I don't know his
Terry Benedict.
Yeah.
Played by Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia. Yeah, he kind of just shows up like, yeah, he finds them. That's kind of scary, but he's just like, give me my money back. You got this amount of time. But I'm like, he's not known for killing people.
Well, I think in the first one they established that he like fucks people's lives up. There's a couple of lines
you are right.
Mentioned that like, oh, he's like a sick son of a bitch.
You are right, because someone tried to steal from his casino and he ruined their life and their whole family's life. Like,
yeah, so he has this like, pretty big like reputation of being like insane.
I will say that was not mentioned in Ocean's 12. You could hit me with a little recap, I guess.
Because that's what I was kind of thinking the first time I saw it. But then seeing these back to back, I was like, oh, okay, wait, he does have this reputation. So
I honestly never thought
I think he's gonna kill them basically if they don't.
Yeah, he just doesn't give me that vibe that like, hey,
he's got his Russian henchmen with him. I think that kill him.
That is true. So I like that this movie reintroduced the Ocean's crew again.
Oh, the beginning where they he's tracking each of them down. That is great. I love it.
This is another thing where Ocean's 13 falters, in my opinion, because Saul Elliot Gould gets sick, and then they all kind of just show up in the hotel room.
I thought that was weird too. The 15 I watched, I was like, oh, I didn't think they were like that. Like, I didn't think they were like friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
George
want the
Clooney
whole.
And Brad Pitt are kind of tight, but
yeah. I feel like every sequel, I need the band's getting back together sequence. I need that every time because it's fun.
Yeah, so that's what I like about this movie. It's like you kind of catch up like what they're all doing. And one of my favorite parts in this montage, I guess, opening credits was the Casey Affleck, Scott Conn characters. They're like brothers. I guess he's getting married and he's like, oh, I just want to thank my cousin and my aunt and uncle, and that's about it. Nobody else. I like that pairing. But yeah, they didn't miss a beat with these characters. Yeah,
have you seen the movie Drowning Mona?
No, I haven't. What's that about?
It's been a long time since I've seen. I used to watch this movie all the time when I was a kid. I know it's about Danny DeVito's like a cop, and he goes to a town where this woman named Mona was drowned, and he's trying to figure out who did it. And Casey Affleck and Scott Conn are like the two main characters in it.
No shit, really? You think they're the same characters in this movie?
No, but I remember seeing Ocean's 11 being like, the Drowning Mona gang is here. I remember being so excited that the Drowning
crossover. It's cinematic universe. A Drowning Mona cinematic universe. I would love it.
I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I would recommend it off of my middle school memory.
I also we catch up with Bernie Mac, and there's a line in the first one where he's talking about moisturizing. It's a very weird scene where he's like trying to get the cars at a cheaper price.
Yeah, just squeezing
but he's talking about moisturizing and stuff, and but they find him in a nail salon. I'm like, okay, I like that. It's like I want that back. But the beginning stuff is pretty good.
Yeah, and it's very smart for them instantly to be like, okay, we can't do Vegas again.
Oh, I agree.
Vegas
You
is
can't do
Vegas
Vegas
has been.
again, which is what the third one does again.
Yeah, because I think that was a big complaint. People were like, it's too different. Like, we want to see them rob a casino again. So,
Well, I like that they took it into a different location. Like Europe is great.
yeah.
That's a good idea. I think my big issue with this movie, because part of the fun of the first one, right, is okay, planning the heist. They getting the crew to each crew member has like a specific thing that they do, and then like practicing it, and then actually like you actually get this like that whole second half of the first movie is just them pulling off the heist, and we don't really get that in this movie. Like there's two heists in the movie. One of which, well, I guess one of them, doesn't work. And then you find out, well, we guess we get into the ending later, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's missed. That was what was so fun in that first one. Like the good examples, just like little obstacles they face along the way. Like the tech guy has to like put this thing on the wire, but then he like his sweat, wipes off the directions on his hand. So that each like little moment has like a little intense part to it.
Yeah, I think the first movie balanced so well of stuff we know and stuff we don't know, because Danny Ocean, he's so vague about so they're building the replica of the vault,
right?
And they're kind of like, so we're doing this for practice, and he goes, yeah, kinda. And so, but when you watch it, you know later on, so it comes into use, but they just like balance, like, oh, they tell us stuff and we see them do the stuff that they told us, but then there's also like bonus stuff, like the ending of the first one where they're walking out in the SWAT uniforms.
Yeah.
It's such a big moment of like, oh, they are just walking out of the casino, just like Danny Ocean said they would at the beginning of the movie, or I think Rusty said it. But so I guess from an Ocean's movie, you want that moment of like, hey, we know most everything, but I want that SWAT team walking out of the casino feeling. And I don't think Ocean's 12 gave me that feeling again, or any of the other movies.
No, but it just kind of gave me like a like an moment.
Yeah, because the ending, I'm not sure if we're allowed to bounce around, but the ending.
Can bounce around. Should we address the ending already? I mean, the ending.
Because the ending is they kind of fail at their heist, but then you realize they did the heist earlier.
Okay, so we'll get to that. But also, I like what you said though. Yeah, like we as an audience don't know anything. Another moment that got me in the first one was Saul. He's he's kind of older, and there's a couple of moments throughout the movie where it looks like he's like, his health. He's clearly not in good health.
Yeah, we're worried about it.
And then you think like, oh shit, like this did not go as planned. He's really having a heart attack. But then you realize that no, that was part of the plan. Like,
yeah.
But they don't really tell you that. Like, so yeah, you're right. I like. Well, yeah, it was just so good. You hit it on the head. Like,
it's that tough balance, because the second one tried to do it, but I think they went too far into stuff we didn't know. So when they show the real heist actually happening on the train, it's just like, oh, okay.
And the heist on the train.
This is just something we didn't see.
But also, it's just like a quick, like, oh, let's stage a fight. Oh, grabbed it.
Yeah.
It's just like not. It's like, oh.
I think that was their thinking of like, oh, we have this huge heist with the holographic egg and all this stuff, but the real huge heist was just a small switcheroo. So
we should back up a little bit. So basically, what I will say I like about this movie is, so they have to pay back the Terry Benedict character, but on top of that, there's also like another character. What is he, like the brown fox or something? What do they call
Black
Fox?
He's something Fox. I think
something Fox, played by Vincent Castle.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that there's like a rival like thief.
Yeah.
And basically he's the one that tipped him off, because I guess his mentor basically said that, like, pissed him off and said Danny Ocean is like one of the all-time greatest thieves. And so he basically he wants to like show that he's a better thief than Danny. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of a cool like aspect of the film. Like, oh yeah, a rival. And he's always kind of like one step ahead of him. Like the first thing, the first thing that they try to do, I guess they try to steal like some old document He steals it first.
Yeah, I forget what it was. It was just like the first document of something.
It was like the East India Trade Company. It was like some very old document or something. I don't know. It's like something about like docking your boat or something. It was like, I don't know. Very
and I
old.
think, I guess that's what, I don't know. That part was a little unsatisfying because they even talk about like, this is only worth $2 million and we owe 90 million or however. I think it was like 90 or something. So it's like this. So this is just a little chunk, but I guess it's a fun little heist for us to watch. And then you end it with like, oh, we didn't even steal anything. So that part's always a little unsatisfying.
Oh, and they go through so much trouble too. They have to raid the whole house.
Yeah.
Just to like lift the house up just a little bit so they can shoot the thing and to like, I guess, open the safe or whatever. But well, also too, I think this movie gets a little too goofy. Like, it gets very stupid. I think I know what you're talking about when you're talking about I feel like everyone hates the Julia Roberts moment. Well, yeah, is that what you're talking about? On that? That's the big one. People hate the twist, and I think people hate like the Julia Roberts shit.
I don't mind the Julia Roberts thing at all. I think it's kind of funny, and I think it would have been boring if they didn't have Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is what makes that scene very fun for me. I think if she was just playing Julia or someone who looks like Julia Roberts, it's just like, okay, this is kind of weird, but okay. But for some reason, when Bruce recognizes her and starts talking to her as if she's Julia Roberts, I don't know, just that like layering of like, this is like another mess we're in. I find it fun. It doesn't like take me out of the movie or anything. I don't
know. It's weird. Like she's Julia Roberts playing a character who's playing herself.
Really... and she even talks to herself on the phone for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you feel? I mean, this is not the same genre of movie, but the movie Last Action Hero.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
I might have to have you on for that because I think that one kind of has a cult following. I think.
I mean, like, I guess it's like a character that Arnold Schwarzenegger plays comes out. Well, I think he has a different name, but comes out of the movie and then like sees himself, and so I think I don't know. I have no problem with that scene. I think if Bruce Willis wasn't in it, I probably would not like it, but I think he made that scene for me.
We're jumping around, but actually, I was when I was looking through trivia, like Bruce Willis, I think was the original choice for Danny Ocean.
Really?
Yeah, I found that out. Or I don't know if he wasn't the original choice, he was one of the people in contention. I think. But yeah,
I'm glad that didn't happen.
You know what? I will say, like 90s, 80s, 90s Bruce Willis, early 2000s, you know, he still gave a shit.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually not bad. And I don't really like the meta Julia Roberts stuff, but Bruce Willis isn't bad in that scene.
No, I guess I have a love for meta humor. I mean, even the first movie, when they're at the poker table and everyone's playing themselves, like Topher Grace and the guy from Dawson's Creek and someone else. George Clooney turns to Topher Grace and is like, oh, it must be tough transitioning from TVs to movies because George Clooney had that big transition when he left ER to go into movies. So it was kind of like a wink, wink, like, hey. And then in the second one, Topher Grace has that joke about, I quit the show. And yeah, he says, I quit the show and I phoned in that Dennis Quaid movie.
I know that movie too. It's like, what the hell is that movie? I know what it is.
Is it Vantage Point? Was he in Vantage Point?
No, it was like in the something good company.
I forget, but I just love that meta humor. So, and there's a couple moments in the.
Well, that's actually a plot point in the first one because Rusty, like that's his job. His job is to train like actors, but like I don't know, like Julia Roberts is like a fictional character, but like Julia Roberts, the real person, is in the fictionalized universe. I don't know.
I think it's all worth it for this. There's some funny moments. They're really quick where they're like, it's like Matt Damon and Bruce Willis walking through a doorway, and Matt Damon goes, "You know, I figured it out." And Bruce Willis is just like, oh,
that
cool.
was funny.
And he's just like, no, I figured it out. And he does it again later, and you can tell it's just so funny how Bruce Willis is just like, okay, who cares? Like, I get your.
Also, too, they're like, we want to get ahead of this pregnancy thing because sometimes that what is it? They say something like that Oscar stares at you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like a dig that like he never got nominated for like an Oscar or won or anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why I don't like him. I just don't like it.
It's weird. I can't. Has a movie ever done that before? I'm sure in the history of movies it has happened, but it's not a thing that comes up a lot. Where like, hey, you look like this person. So I don't know. I just liked it.
Yeah, I don't think there has been. There's been. I know in the Dark Tower novels, Stephen King, the author, shows up, but I don't think there's ever been a fictional character portrayed by an actress who pretends to be said actress in that universe
because she looks so much like her, which because she is her. I don't know.
I think she was really pregnant at the time. I think they wrote in her pregnancy. She had to put the like pillow underneath her like dress.
Yeah, I thought they took a chance, and I don't know. I guess I was happy that they took a chance. I mean, it wasn't the whole movie. This is just a part of it. So
right.
It didn't bug me. I know that it bugs a lot of people, but I find it fun. And I can't debate people who say they don't like it because it's just a matter of opinion.
I don't know. I think it jumps the shark a little bit. It's just too.
See,
it's too goofy.
I'll take that, but the hologram egg is a little too far from
Fabergé egg. What did you think? So you not a fan?
See, that's a little too far from me. Unless there was like, because I know holograms are a thing in real life, but there usually needs to be a plane of glass. There needs to be something for it to reflect on. You can't just make a hologram and out of thin air. So if they added like one little element of like, oh, there's actually a thin piece of glass or something, I would have bought it more. But just the fact that he is an insanely smart inventor.
Yeah, Eddie Izzard, I think, is the guy who invents that. Which was supposed to be Ricky Gervais, I found out in trivia. And he was basically like, yeah, I don't feel like traveling. So he's just like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, Eddie Izzard shows up in the third one, not in the eighth one.
I think I did see him in the what little bit I did watch. I still want to finish the third one. But yeah, the Fabergé egg, I don't know. Very, very weird. The holographic. Yeah. I mean, they try to make it work because Eddie Izzard's like, oh, you're gonna have to pay me double. Like I had to painstakingly to make it look, but yeah, I just think this one's just too like I think goofy and just too outlandish.
Yeah, I think what they need, especially with like a holographic egg, they need something at the beginning of the movie. That's like a thing in writing is like you show something at the beginning and then you use it later on. So if they showed that holographic stuff existed, like maybe it could be for, I don't know, something at Vegas or wherever they were at the beginning of the movie. They're like, oh, wow, this new hologram stuff. I don't know. Maybe they should have just have set it up, in my opinion, like that holograms exist.
So speaking of goofy, what do you think about Vincent Cassel? I forget the characters, the fox. He's got a name, but that's his like code name.
Yeah, I forget.
I forget what his name is. He's just a French guy, but his like dancing through the lasers to get I guess it's a fake now at this point.
Yeah, he stole a replica. Find out. I don't hate that part because that is one thing that is set up. There's a part where he is like on the porch, like
it is set up.
But they even say that the lasers are random. So it kind of looks like he's doing a rehearsed thing, but they set up so many times that the lasers are randomly going. So I guess he's just a good interpretive dancer.
He actually really did that for real on set.
Really?
I found that out. Yeah, he's like a pretty good dancer. So they CGI'd the lasers around him. But yeah, they do make a point early on that like it is random. So I don't know how
I guess it'd be cool if they showed him struggle a little bit, be like, so this one's going here, but maybe he's just so good that
I don't know. I think this movie I don't know. I think it goes a little too far in the implausibility.
I think
these movies are super serious or super grounded, but
I think
that first one was a nice balance. It was like, I don't know, like I bought everything.
Mm-hmm. I feel like why I like this movie so much as a kid is because I've had an interest in movies in a while, and the filmmaking of this is really interesting in my opinion. I mean, all of the quick zooms is I don't know why. I'll fall in love with any movie that has quick zooms like that. Like there's that one part where they're all getting out of jail one by one, and the camera is just constantly zooming in on these people walking out of jail. And
the edits kind of sync up well with the music. Mm-hmm. I think this is the music's very good as well.
Music's good in this. The whole trilogy has, and even the 8th movie has great music in it. But I don't know. I think the filmmaking was really cool in my opinion. So maybe I was.
I don't know. This one, I don't know. So that first movie, like, God, just perfect pacing.
Oh yeah.
This one just kind of dragged to me.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they keep pulling the rug. Like, I guess you like having your rug pulled from you, but when you do it too many times, it's like, okay. Like,
I wouldn't mind the rug. Okay, I wouldn't mind the rug being pulled out from under me if the reveal was like, I don't know, cooler.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we just faked a bra and we got the egg. Also, Danny is like this great, thief. But really, he just got tipped off by the guy's mentor.
Yeah, I think that bugs me a lot. So the French Fox guy, he wants to prove that he is the best thief. He wants to go against Danny Ocean, and Danny Ocean agrees. But the only reason why he wins is because the French Fox's mentor told him where else he can steal it. I kind of wish the mentor told him both where they could steal it. Like, hey, you can both steal this from the train. Because Danny Ocean's not a better thief. All he did was get better intel.
Yeah, there really isn't. And his crew sucks because the two guys that are arguing when he's like going on the roof of the museum. So they weren't paying attention to him. I think I have a theory because we haven't talked about Catherine Zeta-Jones, I guess.
Oh yeah,
she is like a detective. Cop. She has like a romantic past with Rusty, Brad Pitt's character. Did they make a sort of deal like, oh well, we know where your daughter is. We'll show her to you if you tell us where the egg is. Maybe that was it.
That's what I'm thinking happened. Is it was like the long con, I guess, that since Rusty was with her, and I guess he figured out that that's Lamarck's daughter.
Yeah, but then what a coincidence, because they didn't expect to run into her when they went to go do I don't know.
Yeah, this is why watching it now and like actually like following the plot, it's like, okay, yeah, stuff's not lining up as well.
It's very contrived, I feel like, a lot of aspects of it.
Because I do want to see the movie where Lamarck tells them both that the egg will be on the train, because I want to see how the Fox guy would steal that.
Yeah.
And even if I kind of wish we saw that train scene earlier in the movie, but maybe we just thought a fight was actually going down or something. And then when the reveal happens, oh, that's when the actual heist happened. You would be like, whoa, like they did it in front of me too. So, but when they just don't show us at all, and I don't know.
All right, so here's my question. Maybe I'm a dummy. They did the train thing after the Fabergé egg holographic thing, right?
I believe they did it before.
What if they did it before? Why even?
Because they have to just do it for show, just for show to make. Oh,
so did Matt Damon know?
Yeah. So when they were
Matt Damon did know.
Yeah, they all knew.
I guess that makes sense. I guess they didn't want to
Matt Damon did.
Why aren't they trying? I guess they didn't want to make it suspicious.
Yeah, so they put a show on. Plus, Matt Damon's mother is the cop who gets them all out of jail.
Convenient, because they do mention he's like, "Don't tell my mom" when he they get the money.
Which that part's a little weird too.
Yeah,
because it'd be one thing if she was just one woman, but she's like a whole team of people. She's got these 12 cars rolling up, and I mean maybe she's playing the long con too or something. I don't know. I thought that was a little too convenient then.
Yeah, it's like, okay, who's in on what, who knows what. I don't know. It's very convoluted.
And this is a minor nitpick, but in Ocean's 11, you know who the 11 people are in Ocean's 11. In Ocean's 12, I think we're to assume that Tess, Julia Roberts, she's the 12th.
Yeah. When I was reading the Wikipedia article, it said the 12, and it had Julia Roberts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she helps out with the heist, but so does Matt Damon's mother, and so does
Lamarck, technically.
Yeah. So the numbers should be higher. And the same problem happens in Ocean's 13 and Ocean's 8, where more people are helping. I guess helping's not a problem, but more people are part of the heist.
I think it's just I think it's just like, I don't know, a number.
I know it's a sequel number, but I mean, follow the rules. Come
on. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else to cover?
Ocean's 12. I don't know. I think it's fun. I rewatching it now. I'm like, okay, it's not as great as 11, but I'm glad they tried something different for a sequel. It didn't work out 100%, but I didn't think it was a complete failure. So I'm not sure.
It's not a complete failure. I like the setting. I actually like that they have to pay back the money. I like that. I like that there's a rival thief after the same thing they are. Like, that's kind of cool. But yeah.
And it's cool. I do think it's cool that they all get arrested. It's a very funny thing to happen where like Bernie Mac got arrested. It's like, okay. But then 5 more people get arrested. It's like, oh no, the whole crew's getting arrested. And so when it's down to just the 3 of them and they're like, wow, we have to pull off this heist with just the 3 of us. I thought that was a very smart thing. The only thing that sucks is you find out this is all pointless because they already stole the egg. So I think it's fun to like get the numbers down and add like that is a big hurdle they need to jump over. So I thought that was a fun, and then they all get arrested. It's like, geez, how are they going to get out of this? And then it's Matt Damon's mother.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, okay. Well, that's very convenient.
It's a funny reveal because they talked about his parents. Well, they talked about his dad in the first one. I don't think they really mentioned his mom.
It's interesting. So, like, Matt Damon, like, I guess he wanted a really small role in this because he was, like, exhausted. He had just done, like, the Bourne Supremacy. I think that came out, like, the same year. And then Steven Soderbergh was like, no, we have a bigger role for you. Because it is kind of meta because, like, there's that line where he's like, hey, I want to be more involved when he's, like, talking to him on the airplane. So I think that was, like, Soderbergh kind of, like, wink, wink.
I mean, he is Matt Damon. He needs to be in the movie a lot. I don't know. Like he's probably the main 3 is George Clooney.
Brad Pitt, I think in the first one he was kind of the younger. I don't want to say not necessarily a rookie, but more untested.
Yeah, he was. I think he was. He was definitely the rookie of the group.
Yeah. So I do kind of like that everyone, I do like that part. It's like everyone else is arrested and it's like, okay, well, here's my shot. Like, he almost like didn't do the movie. And if he wasn't going to do the movie, Mark Wahlberg was going to take his place because he was the original choice for Linus.
I wish they still got Mark Wahlberg in there. That would have been great. But
I don't know if I could see Mark Wahlberg playing this type of character.
I'm not sure about Matt Damon's character. It would just been cool if he was another person.
Oh, like in the movie?
Yeah, totally. if he just had a role in the movie.
Or like a cameo.
Yeah. Because more cameo. I mean, this movie, it's like a star. I mean, especially Ocean's 11 when it came out. This is a star-studded movie.
Oh, Ocean's 11, that first movie was huge. It's a big deal.
So the more stars you can cram in it, the better, in my opinion.
I mean, does Ocean's 11 have, when we talk about like all-time best cast, I mean, what is Ocean's 11? Like, is that the best cast?
Yeah, because I can't, especially for those roles, I really can't think of who you could replace them with. They just knocked it out of the park, I think.
The only ensemble maybe that's better is Godfather, but you got to think at the time, Godfather, a lot of these people besides Marlon Brando were nobody.
Yeah, I mean,
when this came out, it was like, oh my god, Matt Damon, he's big. George Clooney, he's big. Brad
yeah,
Pitt, he's big. Julia Roberts, like.
I mean, you could cheat a little bit and say like, okay, Avengers Endgame has like 64 of like the biggest actors, but they're all big because of the Marvel movies. It wasn't like the first movie in a series.
That's true. That's very true.
It was the 22nd movie, so they had enough movies to get to that level. But yeah, for a first movie being this star-studded, the only other one I can think of is August. What is that movie called with Meryl Streep?
August County Osage or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You know what I'm talking. What the hell is that movie called?
Yeah, I just remember seeing the trailer and be like, "Wow, there's a lot of people in this movie." Benedict Cumberbatch and Little Miss Sunshine, Abigail Breslin.
Oh wow!
I don't know why that movie came to my mind. That's probably not.
No, that's a good. Well, let's pull it up. August Osage.
Yeah, you're right. That's the name of the movie. August
Osage County. We got Meryl Streep, Dermot Mulroney, Julia Roberts, Juliette Lewis, Chris Cooper, Ewan McGregor. Wow. Sam Shepard, Julian Nicholson, Abigail. Wow, it's like Ocean's 11 and then August Osage County.
Yeah, let's get a cinematic universe.
Let's crossover.
Where Julia Roberts plays both characters.
Oh, hey, did you know that you look like I know Julia Roberts? No, the girl from August Osage County.
I'm sure there's other movies that I just can't think of right now, but I have no idea why that one came to mind.
All right, I have some reviews to share with you. Tell me what you think. Like I said, very polarizing movie. Entertainment Weekly listed it as 25 as one of the 25 worst sequels ever made.
Wow.
Quote, what's on screen is lazy, second-rate, phoned-in, a heist in which its audience whose pockets have been picked. Pretty brutal.
That's funny, though. I thought that was funny.
I know. I love the wordplay on these reviews. It's so funny.
But 25 of the worst sequels. I don't know. There's a lot of bad sequels out there. I think they're just trying to get clickbait title there.
What are some bad sequels in your opinion?
I mean, you could go. I mean, if you just want to talk about bad movies, I mean, like Leprechaun 2, Friday the 13th.
Back to the Hood.
Yeah. I mean, like the one. Anytime a bad person goes to Manhattan, Jason Takes Manhattan. That's not good, is it? But if we're talking. But I'm not a huge, if we're talking big movies, I'm not a big fan of the second Jurassic Park.
Oh,
you're big.
I might have to have the debate. I actually really like Lost World.
You're a big Lost World fan?
I'm a big Lost World guy. I did not like Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, see, I like Jurassic Park 3.
I feel like you're either a JP3 or a Lost World person.
I had no idea people were calling it JP3.
I did to try to be cool, but... yeah, I wouldn't say this is one of the 25 worst.
No, I mean
worst. Like that's pretty bad.
Yeah, maybe of 2004.
Yeah, no, not even 2004. I mean, there's so many.
I was just gonna say that year alone. Like if you're like talking about it only in 2004, the sequel.
Oh yeah, it probably was. Probably. Washington Post. This is a scathing review, and it kind of goes back to what people think about the ending. I kind of agree with it somewhat. It all ends, quote, it all ends on one of those infuriatingly sloppy notes where having dramatized narrative events WXYZ for us, which we have taken on good faith, it suddenly and arbitrarily delivers narrative events STUV, which completely invalidate events WXYZ. That's the quote.
I don't think it invalidates the heist that, when they try to steal the egg, but they've already stolen the egg, because they kind of say we had to do that for show, or the Fox would have known something was up. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. I do think it needs like a plus up or something.
It just needs more punch. Like I'm fine with them having like, oh, this is what we're really doing, but it just needs to be something
Yeah.
I don't have a better word other than cooler. I don't know. Like,
I think it's a cool idea because it's kind of a callback to the first movie, because in the first movie, when they're initially explaining the heist to everyone, Matt Damon jokingly says, "Oh, just a simple smash and grab," and Brad Pitt goes, "A little something more than that." And he's like, "Yeah, I know. I was just joking." So in this movie, when the reveal is, "Oh, it was just a real quick, just go in, grab it. That's all it was. That's the huge heist." It's like a fun idea that this huge heist was actually really small, but there's a way to reveal it. I'm not sure if they revealed it correctly.
what would be a better way to reveal it? I'm trying to think.
I think they needed to show us that train ride earlier, and for us not to know what's going on, and for if it to just be a train ride, a fight breaks out, and we're like, okay, like
Actually,
it could be.
I think I'm with you.
It could be a real dramatic moment where we think, oh, we're seeing a real fight happen within the Ocean's crew, but this is all just a ploy to
Oh, that could be great. Maybe all the crew members are kind of nervous that they're going to get killed by Terry, and they start fighting with each other, and we as an audience think it's a dramatic low point of the film, but really it's when they pull off the heist. That would have been cool. Yeah, I think we needed to see it out of context first, and then. But yeah, it comes out of nowhere. I think is what makes it so.
It's a little disappointing to just be like, oh, you just didn't show us. How were we supposed to guess that?
Roger Ebert liked it. He said the movie takes inventory of its characters with the same droll wit it does everything else. The movie is all about behavior, dialogue, star power, and wise ass in jokes. I really sort of liked it. I mean, I think all these characters have like.
Really Did he say that exact quote? I really sort
of liked it.
I think that sums it up for me now. Of like, I don't love the movie anymore, but I really sort of liked it.
I don't know. Like even talking it out, I'm still very. I don't know. I think it needed. I don't know. It needed better editing. It just needed to be quicker on its feet. And I think if we could just hone down that reveal, like you said, like if we just showed them. Earlier.
Yeah, I did. The only thing I noticed is that each movie had a different writer on it. So I'm not sure if it would have been better if they got the writer from the first movie to like, because the balance was just so perfect on the first movie. So I'm not sure if he just like nailed it. Maybe they should have brought him back, or maybe they're trying to.
I wonder why he didn't return.
I'm not sure. Ocean's 13 is a totally different writer, and then
Ocean's 8's a different writer.
Yeah, Ocean's 8. The director Gary something.
I know he did everything. He's kind of a journeyman. He did Hunger Games. He did.
Yeah, he directed it, wrote it, and so he kind of took it. Well, he co-wrote it with someone else, but I don't know. I feel like that balance is insanely hard to pull off, and I think they just nailed it so much in the first one. It's hard to replicate. So.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want the same movie, but I don't know. Maybe I do.
They're kind of fighting an uphill battle, I guess.
Yeah, the second movie's tricky always. The second movie is where you kind of try out some stuff, and then it either hits or doesn't. And if it doesn't work, you can always play it safe with the third movie.
Yeah.
I got a couple of trivia tidbits. I've already went over some, but I thought this one was. I don't even know if this is true. Before filming began, Brad Pitt put out a memo to all his crew members stating that they are only to address George Clooney as his character's name, Danny Ocean or Mr. Ocean. Eventually, Clooney found out about this and got back at Pitt by putting bumper stickers on the back of his car that read, "I'm gay and I vote," and "small penis on board."
I don't know that one, but George Clooney is famously a prankster on set, so that does sound like something he would do.
Maybe in 2004. I feel like you can't get away with that now.
No, I don't think he would do it now, but he does do pranks a lot. Like he's very famous for that for some reason.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe it's real. And there's another prank. I guess him and Brad Pitt. In the movie where they like the fox knocks on wakes him up at like the wrong time.
Oh yeah.
They did the same thing to Julia Roberts. They woke her up at at like the wrong time and told her it was 5 when it was like noon.
Wow, that's so weird.
Linus, his dad was in the script originally. It was supposed to be Clint Eastwood.
Wow.
Clint Eastwood, he's done some kind of heisty type movies, hasn't he?
I'm not huge on Clint Eastwood history. All I know is in Gran Torino, he was an old racist guy. So that's all I really know. I'm not sure if he's done a heist movie.
Sure he has. I don't know. That's it. That would have been kind of random. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently Peter Fonda filmed a cameo as his father, and then they cut it.
Huh. Yeah, I'm kind of holding my tongue here because in Ocean's 13, someone does play Matt Damon's father. So
really,
I don't want to reveal who it was.
Okay, you don't have to tell me.
It rhymes with Bill Cosby.
Wait, what? Bill Cosby?
Wait, when did Ocean's? I guess that did come out way before his.
Definitely. When that was like the last one was like in 2007.
I don't know why. I always think about these movies as like 2010s movies for some reason. They feel current to me. I don't know why.
Well, they do have a little bit of they do kind of feel like, yeah, they are modern, but like I don't know, like the music and some of the editing and I don't know, it does kind of have that throwback 60s vibe to it.
So it's tough to place it. I did watch a review about this movie pointing out stuff that I didn't notice, that this is a heist movie where the people don't use guns at all. There's no violence in it. The only thing they do is they kind of, there's two guards with, or I'm thinking of Ocean's 11. Sorry, Ocean's 11. There's two guards with Uzis that they put to sleep. But the same thing with the second movie. There's really no violence at all in any of these movies. It's not like they have to go in and knock guards over the head. It's like we just got to be smart and figure out how to get around them.
Well, they do gas a couple people, but that's the extent of the.
Yeah, I guess that they'll put you to sleep, but they don't tend to kidnap anyone and put them in the back of their van or anything like that.
This is my last little tidbit. I thought this was interesting. Apparently, this was a script for something completely different. It was called Honor Among Thieves, and it was supposed to be a movie directed by John Woo. And they retrofitted it to include the Ocean's 11 characters, so it became a sequel to Ocean's 11. Huh. I thought that so I think originally this was going to be more action. It was going to be like a John Woo movie.
Okay, well then that's probably why it had a different writer on it, because they weren't making a sequel to Ocean's 11.
Interesting.
And that's kind of cool. Why? I guess that explains a little bit why it doesn't take place in Vegas. And
it couldn't have taken place in Vegas. You needed to change the location.
Yeah, that's the trivia about Die Hard, isn't it? Every Die Hard sequel is written as another movie.
Yeah, they were already like different books that they just kind of like retrofitted for.
Yeah. Well, I did not know that about Ocean's 12. That's crazy.
All right, I got some categories. What do you think the best scene in the movie is?
The best scene? I'm tempted to pick it.
Just pick it.
I gotta go with the Julia Roberts part. Just because Bruce Willis sells it to me. Bruce Willis is so funny in it when he's just like, I think that's Julia. And then like when he's like slowly figuring out that it might not be Julia, he doesn't quite totally get there, but you can kind of see it in his eyes. Like something's up with Julia. I don't know why.
He's good in that scene. This was kind of the last gasp of this era. It was like the last gasp of Bruce Willis like giving a shit.
Because this is kind of
what happened to him. I don't think he's bankrupt. I don't know why he does all these shitty movies. All these like phoned in performances.
I have no idea.
Just retire. If you don't want to act anymore, just don't do it.
Yeah, I can't think of another scene. I can think of small like moments, but not like a whole scene. What was your favorite scene?
Best scene for me. Man, this is kind of tough. I do like the beginning, actually. Like I kind of like catching up with everybody, like Terry Benedict knocking on their door. It's also interesting, like, I mean, Terry and Danny, they don't have a scene together. They really don't.
Huh. Yeah, because he catches up with he catches up with Tess, and Tess is the one that's like, hey, he's back.
And she calls him and he's running, but he misses him. So I thought I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
There's like a little interesting reveal there too, because he's at a diamond store and then he has to get like on a train to get home, and you're like, oh, he's kind of really far away from. I thought he was just like, you know, stopping by the diamond store on his way home, but no, he like sought out.
Well, I think he was. Yeah, I think he was like planning his next crime.
I thought that was the kind of clever reveal because you don't really catch that just by their conversation on the phone. So when she's like, "Hey, get home now," in her secret code, he has to get on a train, which I was like, that's kind of a fun reveal.
What's the worst scene in the movie?
The worst scene?
Yeah.
I don't think I like when they're in the cars and it's revealing that's Matt Damon's mother. I don't know why. Like I like the scene when they're all getting out of jail and the camera zooming in, but when they're in the cars and he's just like, well, are you going to tell Dad? It's like kind of funny, but I think it bugs me about how many people she has involved in this heist now, because there's like a whole, I don't know, it takes me out a little bit. It's a weird nitpicky thing, but that's what it is.
The whole Julia Roberts sequence. my worst is your best.
Yeah, I know I have weird taste with that. So
I mean, that's why this movie's polarizing. Some people love it. Some people, I don't like hate it, but I just like, that's the moment where I'm like, okay, this is just kind of too much. This is kind of
it also just might be nostalgia because I remember seeing this movie in the theaters with my family, and I just remember my parents cracking up when the guy on the phone goes, Julia Roberts is coming. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just seeing the whole family happy, and it just triggers happiness in my brain.
Is there a quote? Is there any quotable lines in this?
For me, it would. I've already talked about. It would be Matt Damon talking. My favorite scene, talking to Bruce Willis, being like, "Hey, I figured it out halfway through the movie," and Bruce Willis just being like, "Oh yeah, you're really smart." Aren't you?
I don't have this line for line, but I did like the little exchange kind of earlier on in the movie, because like Linus wants to be taken more serious, and he actually goes with him and was it Rusty and Danny to talk to that guy, I guess, to get some inside information, and they're like talking in code, and then he's
talking to Hagrid.
Hagrid, and he's just like, he just starts singing Led Zeppelin Kashmir. He just starts just belting out bullshit. I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't mention that. Yeah. Matt Damon's character is a little bit more goofy in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a little bit more of like the comic relief.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And he's more, I would say, more the comic relief in Ocean's 13 as well.
Really?
I think he got a smaller part in Ocean's 13. Maybe
he got what he wanted.
Got what he wished for. I mean, he has a part in it, but he's like separate from the whole crew. He's kind of he's doing his own mission, I guess.
Really?
I mean, it's a part of the main, you know.
I got you. So it all connects at the end.
Yeah, it connects. It's just he's just like, he has his mission to do, and it's just separate. Like it doesn't intertwine like most of the movies. The stuff intertwines, but
this category, I don't know if it applies. Best unintentional comedic moment. I don't know. I feel like everything that was meant to be funny was funny. Was there like a cringy moment at all in this movie?
See, I think I have to pick your quotable part. The whole part when they're speaking in codes. I don't know. I guess I was kind of lost during that scene, and I thought it went on a little too long of Matt Damon doing the song. And I don't know why. I guess I was.
Yeah, it's pretty cringy. It's pretty cringy.
I mean, it's supposed to be because he's failing, but I guess they succeeded, and I just cringed. But I don't think there's such a terrible moment in this movie.
No, there really isn't. Best performance?
Star-studded cast here.
I know, right? Everybody has a nice little moment to shine in this.
But the best performance... Okay, I got to go down on it. I'm going Bruce Willis. I just gotta. I mean, they all did great. I mean, Topher Grace was really funny. He's only in it for like 30 seconds, but him being so desperate and making fun of himself, I like it. But they all did amazing. So it's hard to pick one.
I mean, Julia Roberts playing Tess Ocean, who's acting like Julia Roberts the real person in life that she really portrays.
Yeah.
That's a layered performance.
Mm-hmm.
That and very impressive.
Don Cheadle's character just repeatedly telling her to drop her G's and speak Southern, drop your G's. He said that like 4 times.
Yeah, that is, I mean, there's funny moments in that sequence, but it's just like, it's like, I can't believe this is happening. It's so stupid. Is there even a bad performance in this? That was my next category. Worst performance. I don't think, like, everybody's pretty solid in this.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, I don't think there was like I mean, this is just a good ensemble.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like,
I feel bad because Bernie Mac wasn't in the movie that much because he's the first person to go to jail. So
yeah. That was kind of the draw, I think, of these movies was the cast. It was just like, wow, like all these actors.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
That's all I got for trivia, or excuse me, categories. Anything else? Like, give me your final thoughts.
Well, just a real quick tidbit. I was tempted to watch the original Ocean's 11.
I was going to ask you that. Have you seen?
No, it's on HBO Max, so I was like, I should watch it, but I haven't heard good things about it. I watched
it either.
I watched one. There's like one famous clip from it. It blew up for the wrong reasons, for 2020 reasons. But I like one of the main guys, not Frank Sinatra, but maybe is his name Dean Martin?
Dean Martin, yeah.
Yeah. I think he says something like, if I become president, I would take the vote. So I would take the rights away from women to vote and they should go back to being slaves. And then they all laugh and they're like, ha, ha, ha.
Oh, wow. Now I want to watch this.
It's a really weird scene where they're like, if I was president, women will not vote. And it's just
that was 1960. That was the time.
I know that spoiler for that movie. Unless you wanted to watch it, were you about to go watch the?
I don't care. You can tell me.
I think the big ending is that they don't succeed. They don't steal the money. So that's like a big twist ending, I guess.
Is it similar to the first? Like I think the only one at all.
The only similarities are the title, Ocean's 11, and then they're trying to rob a casino in Vegas. Okay. I think that's the only similarities. Maybe Danny Ocean, maybe the name.
I think the name is the same, but yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in watching it. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
I don't really care about the frat pack. I was having trouble. My wife asked me, she was like, which one's Frank Sinatra? And I was like, oof, I don't think I can point.
You don't even know what Frank is? Oh man.
I'm sorry, they all look the same.
Which one's Sammy Davis Jr.?
But final thought. Yeah, I get
give me your final thoughts and rating out of 5.
Ooh, I get why it's polarizing. I do think it could use some plus ups, some retouching of the script, but the filmmaking, the music, and the acting was all stellar in my opinion. So I would probably give it a 4 out of 5 if I had to do it, which is really high.
That is very high.
But I gotta say, what I want out of a movie most times is to have fun. Unless it's a very sad movie, then I'm not trying to have a blast. But this movie, I think its intent is to have fun, and every time I watch it, I do have fun. Okay,
all right. For me, I think I just very split down the middle with this one. It's a 2.5 out of 5. The first half I was like kind of into it, and then it started to lose me, and I think it gets really silly with the Julia Roberts meta humor stuff. And then it's like the final reveal is just kind of like that's lame. Mm-hmm. But I can't deny it's well made, it's well acted. I mean, you have a Steven Soderbergh at that time was at the top of his game. I mean, God, he was off of Aaron Brockovich, the original Ocean's 11, Traffic. I mean, he was a great director, and he still is. But I mean, just wonderfully directed. I could use a little bit more, I think, faster pace, but
yeah. It's definitely a little long.
Yeah.
A little too long.
Yeah, and I do like the locations. I'm glad that they switched it to Europe. I like the setup. It had a lot of it set up a lot of interesting things. I just wish.
All the ideas. The ideas.
Great ideas, just maybe not executed the best. It's not a bad movie. I don't know. It's like 2.5 for me. I do want to watch the third one, even though you say it's bad.
I think I have a friend who loves the third one, so people do have a love for the third one. Ocean's 8 was good in my opinion. I hope that it did well enough to where they would make a sequel, just because that cast was also very good.
I did look it up. So this one did like 362. The first one did like 450. And I think each one made less and less.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I think Ocean's 8 did like, I don't even think it broke 300. I don't know if they're going to do another one.
I hope they do, because
I don't think it had a huge budget, but I'm not really sure. I haven't heard anything about an Ocean's 9.
Yeah, I haven't either, and I don't think it'll happen, but I hope it does, because the more I like heist movies. When they talked about Rogue One as a Star Wars heist movie, I was excited, and that turned out to not really be a heist movie.
I did not like that movie. I mean, so you don't care for it either?
I think I liked it when I first saw it, just because it was Star Wars stuff, and I was like, "Whoa!" And then rewatching it, I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of pointless."
It's very lame. I thought they shouldn't. Yeah, like that. You know how Marvel, each movie is like kind of their, like Winter Soldier was like their, I don't know, political thriller, and Spider-Man: Homecoming was like their, John Hughes movie. I was kind of hoping Rogue One would have been their heist movie, and they didn't do anything clever at all.
No, they said the same thing about Ant-Man. They're like, Ant-Man's going to be Marvel's heist movie. And yeah, they broke into somewhere, but I didn't feel like a heist. There wasn't like a plan, and there wasn't the oceans doom, doom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, boom. That's what I want. I want that music to come in.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this like best heist movie? Ocean's 11?
Oh, in my opinion, yeah. Inside Man is also a great one.
I want to see that. Spike Jonze did that, right?
Yeah, I was about to say Spike Lee.
Not Spike Jonze. It is Spike Lee, right?
Spike Lee. Okay, I was right.
Yeah. Spike Jonze did adaptation and being John Malkovich.
Yeah, I get my Spikes mixed up a lot. Spike Lee.
It happens, as one does.
Inside Man is amazing. Go check out Inside Man. So I would say those two are top tier for me. Definitely.
Right on. Well, Brett, thanks for being on the show. If you guys haven't, anyone who's listening, check out his YouTube channel and check out a Dumpster Dude show sometime.
Yeah.
We'll try to make it to the next one.
Or come over to my house and we'll pause Space Jam 2 and we will look through it phrase by frame, trying to find our Oceans characters.